Hey, what's going on YouTube? Welcome to Clinton Street. We're at the railroad underpass here on Clinton Street, near where it meets State Street, close to downtown Binghamton. And the reason we're here today is Binghamton was just awarded a $10 million grant for the revitalization of Clinton Street. And so I figured it'd be cool to take a look at it in its current state here in 2025, it's July, and come back in a year or two and see what's changed after the revitalization project really gets moving. So yeah, we'll walk a couple blocks of Clinton Street and just kind of take a look at the current stance of it. I think a lot of people would agree Clinton Street's needed some help for a long time in terms of just its overall condition and you know, some of the neighborhoods around it too. So let's go take a look. Right. So we're starting out here, like I mentioned in the intro, this is the railroad bridge that goes under the railroad over to State Street, and then if you keep going, you'll be in downtown Binghamton. And yeah, I don't have time to walk all of Clinton Street because it's actually, you know, it's a really long street. But I figured we'd walk at least a block or two and just kind of see the current state of it. This is a plaza over here that used to have Great American, which was a grocery store, and it's around the corner on State Street. It now has a lot of county offices in it, like I think the county health department's in there. So yeah, we'll just kind of walk a block or two. And Clinton Street is famous for having a lot of bars and things like that. At least in historical terms, it had bars, and there were a couple diners on the street, if memory serves correct. So this is the Clinton Hotel right here. And my guess is that it's mostly apartments these days. But yeah, we'll go a block or two and just kind of see what's going on. So this is the corner of Clinton and Oak Street. And there's, you know, obviously housing down that way. And I think the building directly in front of us recently had a fire, if memory serves correctly. And I think you can still see some burn marks up there. So yeah, we'll kind of check out the current state. And I guess the $10 million grant that they received for the revitalization of Clinton sounds like it's still in the early phases, as there's community meetings scheduled for later this month to kind of go over some of the goals and talk about the project as it moves forward. Got a house over here. Looks like it hasn't been occupied for a while. And there is some activity going on down the street here. This laundromat looks like there's some kind of construction project currently in progress with it. And I saw people working a little further down the street on some properties as well. And that, you know, I think the overall goal of the project long term is to encourage investment in the properties on the street, which clearly, you know, some of the parcels here haven't been given the most attention in recent times. This is Murray Street and Clinton Street over here. So if you go under the railroad tracks down that way, you'll end up over at Main Street in a couple blocks. This is a former jewelry store here, Camelot Jewelers. And I definitely want to hear from you guys down in the comments section. Let me know what you guys think should be done with Clinton Street to improve the overall area. Clinton Street Cafe. Oh, that actually looks really nice in there. Looks like a great place for lunch or breakfast. These buildings here look like, it's hard to tell if they're in business or not still. The Ward. Proper attire required, whiskey and cocktails. So it looks like it was a bar, so it's probably still in business. It's just, you know, early in the day, so it makes sense that it's not open. And we've got, this is the new Binghamton Boys and Girls Club here on the right side. I say new, but it's probably been like 10 or 15 years now. And this property was the former site of the Philadelphia Sales Building at one point. That's a really nice looking playground, actually. And I do believe they have a gym in there. I don't think they have a pool. It's been a while since I looked into it, but I know it's a really nice facility over there. And then on this side, I can't really read the lettering with all of the grass that's on it, or vines that are on it. I didn't realize I was zoomed in that whole time. Look at that. But it looks like it was some old type of mechanical or industrial building. And one thing I do appreciate here on Clinton Street are these little lights they have off the back of the poles. It gives it a little bit of character and charm, so to speak. So this is Titchener Place and Clinton Street, this corner coming up right here. And yeah, I definitely didn't realize that I was zoomed in the whole time I was starting the video, but that's all right. I'm sure the footage still looks good. So yeah, Boys and Girls Club, and we're coming up to an entryway here. And I do like the very nice looking rotunda they have in the beginning of the building here. That's really beautiful, and definitely gives a little more character to the building itself. And then across the street, we got Parlor City Vegan Coffee and Tea, and a couple of storefronts that, again, it's a little tricky to tell what's open and what isn't. Old, odd, and unique. So that looks like a some kind of antique store, or perhaps a thrift store. Binghamton's most bizarre bazaar. Looks like there's a church over there. So we'll keep going for another block or two. This is Magatte Street, which, if you go up the road here, used to be a highway on-ramp until they reconstructed Route 17 in the 2010s, and the exit got moved down a couple blocks. And there's a old sign there that I remember from when I was a kid. It says, "Welcome to Antique Row," which now is probably a good time to mention that Clinton Street, at least when I was a kid, was famous for how many antique stores were located on this block. However, I don't really feel like that's the case anymore. There's definitely, like, you got this antique store right here, and the other one I mentioned earlier, but I think that's it now. I don't really recall or know how many are left. And if you know, definitely leave it down in the comments. And this office building here, I forget what's in it, but this is a semi-new office building. We'll say in the last 20 years. And of course, you have Park Outdoor across the street, which is the billboard, or one of the local billboard companies. Robot City, which is also locally famous. Got many antique games, and I guess you can buy CDs there and stuff. I do like the mural on the Park Outdoor building. That is quite cool looking. And yeah, the one thing on this street, and a reason it has, in my opinion, a lot of potential, is just the uniqueness of a lot of these storefronts. And, I think with time and money and care, this could be a really unique street again. I mean, it's unique now. It just needs investment as we come to UHS primary care here. Man, UHS, I feel like, has an office on every single street in town now. And as we approach Star Avenue and Clinton Street and the Schoolhouse Apartments. And I will try to remember to put a card on the video A few years ago, I did a drive down the full length of Clinton Street. And it definitely keeps going for a long, long distance. A+ Sushi and Kitchen. Something does not smell good in this immediate vicinity right here. And I'm struggling to figure out what it is, or perhaps I don't want to know. And there's a Catholic church here with a really unique steeple. I feel like the steeple up there is a lot skinnier than most churches. But nonetheless, it's a very interesting looking building. It's got some really nice stonework and stuff like that. So anyway, this is going to be the end of my walking tour of the street, as the block is incredibly long. But if you were to keep going down the street here, you would end up, and you can see the smokestack in the distance, you would end up at the old Anatech site. And a lot of people cite the downfall and closing of Anatech as one of the many reasons that Clinton Street kind of fell off over the years, due to all the job loss and just kind of the closure of that. But if you keep going down the block, there's like one or two more businesses of note down there. Like I think that one with the 7-Up sign is the Brass Rail, if I'm not mistaken. And then if you go around the corner, which you can't see it, but you would be at the Old Union Hotel, which is one of the, which is a success story for the street. It's an old building, old hotel that was renovated and they put a lot of money into it, and it just looks really nice inside. The interior reminds me a little bit of Dillinger's down on State Street. But yeah, $10 million, it'll be interesting to see what they do to the street itself. I think I read that they can't use the money to buy properties. That's just something I read somewhere. So it'll be, interesting to see, because the street itself is in pretty okay condition. Like, the road isn't really too rough, and the sidewalks look fairly new. So it'll be, it'll be interesting to see what exactly they end up using the $10 million for. Whereas in the case of Endicott, the $10 million basically rebuilt all the infrastructure of the street. But again, the infrastructure here doesn't look too terrible. In fact, it looks kind of nice compared to a lot of city streets in Binghamton. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. And there's a lot of plots of land that look like they used to have buildings on them that were either torn down or got so dilapidated they had to be removed. So yeah, it'll be definitely fun to watch. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining us on this walk down Clinton Street. Give the video a thumbs up, hit subscribe. Links to support the channel, always down in the video description. And yeah, thanks again.